And welcome to the show. Our special guest for the night, we have from Obey Alliance, EmilZy. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Had some solid scrims, actually no scrims. So yeah, it's been good, man.
All right. Very cool. So, obviously, we have you on the show tonight for a very specific reason. You guys 2-0'd NRG the first time they've been 2-0'd since week 5 of season 2 summer split. So how does that feel to go in and 2-0 NRG with this new squad? Everyone's picking you to lose, and for NRG to just destroy you guys, and you guys come in and you guys pull out the 2-0 on them.
Well, I think one of the main parts why I won was because we practiced quite a bit coming into this. We feel like we have a very good knowledge of what's going on right now in this meta. I think NRG played very few scrims, stuck to ranked, played what they thought would be good, but actually figuring out, okay, maybe what we thought would be really good is not that good because we didn't try it out. And I think that helped a lot. But it felt really great to go ahead and take down the world champs, especially coming in as a new support, having to prove yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So do you think that was obviously was that a specific plan more toward week 1? You knew who you were going to face. You had a while. You understood that. Was that obviously a lot of preparation and going against the champs and understanding that? And that's where you think you had that advantage because you just had the better preparation for the couple of weeks going into it?
Yeah, I think so. A lot of people were saying that maybe playing Energy in the last week of the split would be the best for us because then we could have built up a whole lot of team synergy. But I always looked at it playing Energy first is really good because you have the preparation time. And I agree with you. That's probably why we ended up ahead in these games. Honestly, just because they don't.
You guys played clean. It was good. It was. Those were tough sets right there. Absolutely, and you guys.
You guys essentially did to NRG what NRG is known to doing to other people. Usually people against NRG they take one step out of line and they get punished severely, and there's no coming back for that. NRG. That's their calling card. You make one mistake, they capitalize, and then they run away with the game. But you guys, time and time again, were able to as we saw earlier in the show, my moment of the week is Raffer being caught out of position over by the Gold Fury, and you guys just destroying and going off from him, and then getting Yamin and Mid, I think is who it was. But yeah, you guys took advantage of every opportunity and just really starting from moment 1 with Ataraxia and you in the duo lane taking 2-0. You guys destroyed that dual lane initially, and you guys
early on too. Yeah. It was early fighting. It was just it was a lot of pressure on that dual lane for sure.
Yeah, it's the pressure. It's what you gotta do. We have to saying pressure. That's just how we go in the EU right now, at least for us. Just full pressure kind of wins your game right now, honestly.
So it was one thing to 2-0, but how did you feel? Forcing the surrender out. I think that's actually what a lot of people were surprised by. It wasn't just Obey 2-0'd. It was they forced NRG, of all teams, NRG F6 and took the 2-0 at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Did that inspire you?
Yeah, well, I feel like they were not evenly played out games. They were complete stomps, honestly. We fell a bit behind in game 2, but we knew we had the edge. And I think they surrendered at 23 minutes.
Yeah.
But the thing about that surrender is that the game was lost off that play. We had a mid Phoenix down, I believe. And we could have just ran down and taken that Titan anyway. I think that would have been the call. Maybe we would have played it safe, gotten Fire Giant, gotten some Phoenixes. But I think it was over at that point anyway. So I understand the surrender, but maybe just frustration about it as well. Because Maniac was you didn't really see it on stream, but they were caught backing, and then Maniac was playing Cabrakan, so he actually ulted to lock himself inside the blue buff, or the purple buff, so they couldn't really kill him. So they took forever to kill him, and he actually ended up surviving because of that play, and we could just come in, and kind of take advantage of the situation. And I think that's just demoralizing, spending 30 seconds killing a Cabrakan and
Guardian and not getting it. I tell you, in my casual games, it's the worst when that solo laner gets away that you put so much effort into killing.
Yeah,
we got it. Now I'm actually I pulled up the highlight just to see exactly what the time was, and I'm just kind of watching it again. And yeah, I see the purple buff locked in and all the effort. There is a lot of abilities getting put into him right now, and it's that right there, yeah, definitely is a demoralizing factor when you do all of that, and then all of a sudden you just got Pretty Prime using the old trucker horn, as F. Dot says, and detonating, and then Ataraxia gets himself a double, and that was a clean wipe right there in that little fight. Like I said, I'm just kind of watching it again, but you guys definitely played well. It's insane, though. Yeah.
The funny thing about that whole play as well was, like, I was really, really slow on the base. I was waiting like 15 seconds in base. Should I get a frenzy? Should I get the revealing ritual? Should I finish my spirit rope? What am I doing? Like, I was so late because they were already fighting. So I was kind of panicking. So I was not in that fight at all. I walked in the end and kind of gave them a speed boost to kill the rest. But I was like, what just happened? I just showed up and they're 6. I'm like, okay, well, that's good.
Well, obviously it was you. They were just afraid of you entering that fight. They couldn't stand the thought.
Just
the powerhouse that is EmilZy.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, as they said, they weren't necessarily picking you week 1. I think Gore had said this, and even I had definitely had the same thought process when we did initial picks. We're like, all right, we'll take NRG over Obey this week due to the fact of the synergy.
Yeah, I think we all did.
They've been together for 2 years, and you and Maniac show up on this roster, and all of a sudden it was a huge differential. I mean, obviously Ataraxia and Pretty Prime have been staple, with it for a while.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I thought synergy would be bad as well. Like, the thing is, our scrims have been going like good and bad. Whenever casters talk about, like, people kind of lie about scrims, but we lose some, we win some, and then up to the energy game, we won quite a bit. We would win every game with Amaterasu support, but not play too much because we were trying to hide it, because we didn't want other teams to scrim to play it against energy, obviously.
It's always tough hiding those picks. When you get those picks, especially when you find something that works. That's definitely one of those pocket picks, and I think that leads into one of those questions that we got from Reddit.
That actually, it leads right into like a couple questions we had from the Reddit thread. Is from Joe Khan, was just asking specifically about the AMA support. Why did you pick it, and why did it work? And then we had Raju Sauce asked, do you expect NRG to ban AMA every game? It gave them trouble at Worlds, and it gave them trouble in this match. Was you picking AMA, was it specifically just like a pocket strat, or was this something that you guys had seen, obviously Ataraxia and Pretty Prime and Captain Twig from, Worlds, noticing, oh, hey, they have some, problems with this AMA, maybe this is something we should look into? Like, what was the thought process going on behind that?
I don't actually didn't really remember they got kind of smacked by Amy back at SWC, but I just always thought Amaterasu was a really good support, and I played it against Obey as well in the group lands in the spring split. We kind of lost that game, probably due to the Amy pick, because it wasn't as good back then. But to kind of answer why to pick Amaterasu right now, we have this item called Shield of Regrowth, which is probably one of the most stupid items in the game right now. 300 health, 30% cooldown reduction. That itself is really good, really good for 2,000 health, 2,000 gold, sorry. And then you have the passive, which, I kind of like to make the wow sounds when I'm in.
Wingblade plus Shield of Regrowth, switching to the heal.
Yeah, exactly.
And then and then you steal your, you're taking Twig speed buff late game, so you're just gonna be flying.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing as well is, even when you swap over to a damage stance, you actually have like 500, I think it's 76 movement speed. So it's not, you can run people down in your damage stance as well. You actually have more speed when you swap. Whatever. So it's just really good right now, and definitely also experimenting with it on other guards as well, see how it works out. But I feel like that's one of the main reasons why Amy is so good right now. The other reason why Amaterasu is so good right now is because she has the best level 1 in the game besides Bellona in her level 1, with her 1, just slapping people down. But Amaterasu has this aura that makes people take increased damage by 10%.
That's a small thing.
Time.
A lot of people don't do that. It's crazy. A lot of people actually, when I play casual games, they'll level the 2 or something like that, or something weird. Like, they don't level the 1. They don't realize that the 3 auto attacks plus the percentage damage is way intense as far as goes, and they don't really utilize it. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, this is why you guys play the game at a professional level. You know this, you see this, and you guys understand it.
Yeah, we kind of tried it in scrims, and we're like, whoa, okay, we can pretty much beat everything with Amaterasu. Uller as well is really good at level 1, but you're doing 30% increased damage to the ADC and the support, because it kind of works like a chain lightning. If someone has the debuff, if you're in range, you get it as well. And then you have increased damage on your own basic attacks, as well as giving your hunter increased damage. So it's like, I don't know if they probably haven't played against an Amaterasu, because Khepri Artemis is really, really good at level 1 as well, but Amy just kind of slams everything she faces.
Yeah,
and that's...
I don't know about that, because I know when Season 4 kind of got announced, like Rafford did like some Reddit AMA stuff, and I had a chance, actually, like, he responded to a couple of my questions, and one of my questions was like the idea of like the warrior support, and especially because the meta at the end of Season 3 had changed more to like that rotating support, you know, splitting between duo and mid, and mostly being a jungler for the duo side of the map. Are we going to see more warriors in that role, just because there's a little more flexibility? And he was super into the idea, and he was like really taken by the idea and the flexibility there too. And he cited Amaterasu as like being one of those guys that fits perfectly in there. And then going in this game, he goes right into Khepri, and we don't see him kind of play
comfort picks. Yeah, I think that leads back to what EmilZy said. It's like, hey, maybe they weren't right. It's week 1. Again, let's realize, everybody, like, it was week 1. This isn't this wasn't HRX. This wasn't the championship where they got, F6 or something like that. This was week 1. I think they understand, crap, we had a little bit of a misplay here, and to be able to get back on the footing. But look, to take advantage of that scenario and get yourself on top and get the points early is really what it comes down to. It's a game of numbers at this point. You got to get the points to get into the the lands, and right now Obey looking good.
Yeah, definitely. It's really good for us to have the points and energy right now, especially since energy, I know myself after talking to them, that they kind of always take these defeats whenever they drop a game as a wake-up call. So I would see them
look out, rest of the teams.
Yeah, I would see them like I'm gonna say I don't think they're gonna drop many games from here. I think they're just gonna say, okay, this is not gonna let's not let this happen again. Maybe they drop a game to Dick, maybe they drop a game to Valence. That's where I see them dropping games. Maybe to Novus Orsa that they are playing tomorrow, if I can remember correctly, because they might still be kind of out of shape. But I don't see them dropping a lot of games from here. I think they're going to use this, and then they're just going to say, okay, let's just win the rest of it. And that's really good for us, because then we have these points energy is going to take from others, but we have them from energy.
That's one of the things I've mentioned, like, in the times I've talked about, how exactly, like, because people want to know, like, how are energy going to perform if the first week you get O2'd, people start thinking, okay, well, they're definitely not as good as they used to be. But this is one of those teams that I feel this can kind of be said for the new Obey roster as well. It's like, you guys just don't like losing. Like, if you lose, you crack down harder. You think, like, you will watch the games. What did we do wrong? What can we correct? How can we make sure that loss never happens again? And I feel like what you said is exactly right. Like, they're just going to come back. They're probably not going to drop as many games. And that gives you just a small advantage having that early on.
Even tiebreakers, you never know if a tiebreaker comes into play. It's rare in Smite, but you never know. But yeah, I guess another question. I mean, we were, you were kind of talking about Shield of Regrowth. You said it's a crazy item and so on. What future changes are you looking forward to in other patches for Season 4? I mean, are you liking Season 4? Just, I guess, in general thoughts, like, what's going on? I mean, it's only been 1 week for SPL, but you've had a few weeks at it. And what do you want to see get it changed, improved, and so on?
I think I tweeted this the other day as well. Like, I really like Season 4. I think it's by far the most fun season to play. Kind of goes for all roles. I feel like everyone's having a lot of fun. You can do a lot of stuff. In the start, I was pretty sad, because it seemed like supports got killed a lot more easily, especially with guards like Poseidon being so high up right now, and Torf and Zeus that just kind of killed supports early on. Has a lot of burst damage, but I'm really liking it. You can play a lot of different stuff. Warriors as well being open. You can play old stuff. You can play newer Guardians as well. I think if something has to change, you have to change the rituals. I know they're changing it right now, probably, for like the next patch. The teleporting ritual or whatever that's called. It's really dumb that you can consistently TP into a fight. I think the changes you would need to do to it is you can go kind of two ways. Obviously, we don't know how they're going to do it yet, but either you can say only one person can TP to one person, so you don't see these 4-man backdoor.
I kind of had that idea last week. I was like, that was one way to make it like a leapfrog, so you get time in between it, so it's not an instant 4 members show up on one dude. That's pretty insane.
It's not like the StarCraft dropships, you're like, oh, okay, well, rip. And the other way I feel like you can go about it is that you go ahead and say, okay, let's put a cooldown on the ritual. Let's say put it as 5 minutes maybe. You cannot use this ritual. It's like locked. You cannot buy it for another 5. So you can like fight, get low, back, TP in, take the fight again, trade out evenly, then TP
do that
in
to
again.
Combat Blink. I played a game the other day where there was a Hercules, and this was just a casual clash game. Like, I wasn't just... This dude was at 20 minutes in the game, he bought 7 blinks. He was just blink, 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 blink. And I was like, why are you combat blinking on me all the time?
Can you actually stack it?
Me? Like, you can't stack it, but he just, every single time, because I would die and I'd go back to base, I'd come back and he came back to base, and then he just combat blink on me again because I was a poor little mage and I used his Hercules, and I was like, this isn't fair. I was like, stop combat blinking on me, Hercules.
I actually do think
feels bad.
For some of those relics, especially like teleporting or even combat blink, do you think it would be worth upping the gold? Like, if they're not worth 750, but like if you have to pay 1,500 gold like each to teleport or something, that's like, it's a healthy chunk. Like, you genuinely have to commit to that being your plan, so you can't just back and buy it. But if you do, like, you're down, you happen to have the gold, you can try to get a backdoor. Like, it still leaves some playability in there, but at the same time, it makes it so it's not just every single game.
I feel like the whole idea of the like anti-stalling fights late game mechanism that they wanted to implement is really good. The way they went about it is wrong, and I think what Hi-Rez has a tendency to do is add in things with a good intention but making it wrong, and then because it's either really good or really bad, they make it super good or super bad. And if you up the gold cost to 1,500, I think they would become irrelevant, so you might as well remove them at that point.
I mean, obviously maybe a price increase in general might deter.
I think realistically what we could probably see is a little bit of both what EmilZy and Freight kind of said, was like kind of implementing like maybe like an internal cooldown or something like that, where, you've used this once, okay, now you have to wait so long before you can either buy it again or use it again, or this player has had someone within X amount of seconds or minutes or whatever rally to them, so you can't rally to that person for so long. I feel like that's probably a more realistic goal and avoids, all of a sudden, the whole team appearing. I feel like, but there's also like the weird way to get around that is like, all right, we're all gonna buy it. All right, I'm gonna start my rally on EmilZy. He's already there. All right, so then now I'm gonna start my rallying on the guy who's rallying to the rally.
It's coordination. I mean, it does take team coordination. You're not gonna see this nonsense in like casuals though. You might see something insane like that, obviously, like a competitive aspect, but it does eliminate it from general games. But it's still, again, I mean, and the teleport can be stopped with hard CC, so there are some plays to it, but. That's another thing. So obviously, I think a lot of people want to see rituals. There is a patch coming out, so we'll see what they decide to do and what other future patches Hi-Rez decides to do with rituals and so on. But any other like item changes or
anything in general? Like this is an open question. You have the floor, EmilZy. Whatever you want to talk about. This is all you. What do you got for us?
All right. So lately, I've been doing a lot of math around what good builds are good right now, and what you kind of come back to is that you need at least like 3 or 4 or even 5 of the same items in your build to be really good in all scenarios. Like, sure, maybe you have like 1 or 2 games where there's 4 magicals or 4 physicals, then you can build a bit differently. Maybe if they have heavy CC, you like get a Magi's Blessing, let's say, against scenarios. But one of the problems I feel like there's in Smite is there's go-to items, especially for supports. It's kind of changed a bit for ADCs now, mid laners as well. But for supports, there are these go-to items that you always see picked up. Sure, you can do it in different ways right now, but I'm pretty glad they added Gauntlet of Thebes, which is actually like a really good.
A lot of HP. Yeah, I like that.
It's actually it's better than Soph. A lot of people didn't figure that out yet, but it's better than Soft mathematically.
Some people were saying that like they wanted to put that more on solo laners and let the supports still get Sob. I've heard things like that, but you know, I like the Thieves on supports. I think it's good.
But that's nice. But you have Thieves, it's pretty broken. It's way too good right now where it is. But that's kind of a lot of the support items, and if you change it, supports are going to become a lot more squishy. So I don't see them doing that. I just see them adding other items that are a bit better and then shooting down some of these really good items like Sovereignty is really good, Spirit Robe is insane, and the Gauntlet of Thieves is really insane. You need to tune these items down a bit so we get more options on what to build, so there's actually like more counter building than just going for the same 3 items in your core every game, because that's just how you go about it right now. I think it's really boring that, look, like every support player, if he's smart right now, is gonna go Watcher's Gift, Traveler's Boots, and then 90% of the time you go Vanguard, because the enemy team has a jungler that bought a blue stone, or they have a hunter that bought a blue stone, or even a warrior support that could have bought a blue stone, and it counters that. So I would like to see change where you could maybe buy other boots, you could even go for other starter items than Watcher's Gift. So I would like to see that change a bit.
I mean, a variety. I mean, that's what they wanted to do initially. They were like, hey, Hi-Rez was like, we want a variety of builds. You know, that's the whole concept of season 4. And I think supports are just kind of one of those classes in general that are always going to be stuck with, you know, this thing of like, oh, hey, you know, we don't want to make them too tanky, but we don't want to make them too squishy. And, you know, let's be realistic. Supports do enough damage as is. So you throw some void stones on there and all of a sudden, you know, your mirror's chunking for 700 damage. It's like, what? It's like, this is not cool. So it is a fine line for supports in that and what they can do with the items. But yeah, I definitely agree. Like, so what obviously Gauntlet of Thieves is a go-to item for you. Are there any other, like, you know, what do you think of the, probably obviously not on supports maybe, but the Ritual Dagger of lowering like the cooldowns of the relics? I haven't seen that item. I used to like Ritual Dagger. I thought before it was good, and
Ritual Dagger is really good.
It's I don't really know, like,
late
obviously
game.
A lot of this is scenario building.
Late game in season 3 it was actually better running around with Wingblade and no boots and then Ritual Dagger, but right now Wingblade is just like, it's just a better Ritual Dagger. Sure, 20% cooldown reduction is nice, but it's only like 28 seconds of your big team fighting relics. So it's like 100, what is that? It's like 112 second cooldown, which is nice instead of a 140, but you're missing out on some health, you're missing out on some movement speed that you could have had from Wingblade. And overall, I like the item a lot, but it needs to see a slight increase in health, make it 300.
Slow is just too important on Wingblade.
Exactly.
I mean, there's so many slows in the game. I mean, you can't, and there's really no room in support builds, let's be realistic, to buy both of them. You gotta, if you're gonna do it, it's gotta be one or the other. So yeah, I definitely get you on the Wingblade. It's just too many slows in the game. Why not go ahead and get the extra boost and get on in and out, especially if you're playing like a Sylvanas or a Ymir, you know, something like that.
Yeah. And even another option is going for like Wingblade and selling boots and getting Shield of Regrowth or something crazy like that. You can actually do that, and it's in most iterations mathematically as well. It's just a better way to go about it. Like that's just how it is right now. And
get my Wingblade and Shield of Regrowth on Sylvanas, start me flying around, start going around the map.
Maybe not on Sylvanas. Maybe you might need boots on him, but definitely, like, I could see an Amaterasu. Of course, you still want to start with boots. Don't go ahead and start with Shield of Regrowth and then get Wingblade. I tried that, and it does not work. We still won, but that was because I was queuing with adapting. But no, don't do that. But late game, I think it could work out really, really well, because it just does better the build. If you don't have boots, if you can sell boots for like Wingblade, it's always gonna be better.
I hope you know that you just started like an epidemic in casual queues with that. Like,
yeah,
now everyone's like, I'm doing the EmilZy build. I don't need no boots.
Yeah,
and now I'm going to be casting Friday Night Smite and challengers and be like, why didn't anybody get boots? Well, you know, not everyone's Ratatasker here. All right, you need boots. All right, guys.
Oddly enough, the only one that did get boots is Rat, and we don't even know how he did it. Like this.
Yeah, that would definitely be good.
All right, well, I think that's it. Thank you, EmilZy, for coming on the show. We appreciate having you. Love talking to you.
Yeah, of course.
Best of luck in the SPL. I know I personally will be rooting for you and Obey. You guys are my EU team. No favoritism here, though. But you guys are my EU team, and I will be rooting for you guys to, go back to SWC and this time hoist the Thor hammer yourself.
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
Yeah, thanks, man, for showing up. Appreciate your time, and again, definitely good luck in the season, and enjoy yourself, man. Have fun, play games.
Thank you.
All right.